Thanks for coming for today's webinar. How are you? If you can, please let me know that you can hear me, you can see me, that you feel good today and you are waiting for the webinar. Today we want to show you the presentation of our new version of the Keypads, INT-TSH version 2 and INT-TSG version 2. You can ask the question, you can tell what do you think about the Keypads on chat. Today with me on chat is Krzysztof. Krzysztof will answer for your question. My name is Lukasz. I'm working in technical department, and today I will show you this presentation of the devices. Okay. Hello everyone. I see the bird from Łódź. Perfect. I see the people from Czech Republic, Finland. Very, very good. Hi again. So today's presentation, we can say that it will be in two different parts. The first part, during the first part, which will start for a few seconds, I will show you the movie with the movie presentation of our device with our colleague, which is speech and described all of these functions. So I think it will be interesting for you, and it will take about 15 minutes. After that 15 minutes movie, I will show you just few things, how to make the configuration of this keypad, what this keypad can do, how user interface works, and all of these things. So I don't want to show you a lot of technical data about that. I think if it will be interest for you, I think we'll prepare some additional movies about that and additional webinars to show you the technical information. Today will be more commercial, but I think there will be a lot of knowledge also for technician. So I think we can start, and I will show you the movie right now.
Hi there, my name is Maciej Domagalski, and I am a SATEL training specialist. Today's webinar is devoted to our latest INT-TSH2 and INT-TSG2 touchscreen keypads. In the first part of this meeting, I will present their functionality. In the second, we will talk about programming the interface. You may associate the previous models of these devices, INT-TSH and INT-TSG. The new version of the keypads is a number of improvements, developments, and completely new functions that I will present to you in a moment. Okay, here they are, our new devices. The TSH2 model is a keypad with a 7-inch display. The TSG2 model has a 4.3-inch display. Let's dive into their new features. As you can see, the interface has a completely new look and was restyled from scratch to match the current trends in technology. Navigation through the extensive menu has also been completely redesigned, but I'll tell you about it later. All these changes were possible thanks to this new generation processor, which ensures the operating system runs smoothly. As I mentioned, both models are available in two colors and are, as always, equipped with a glass panel that protects the display from scratching. The capacitive screen, unlike the resistive one, does not require to use any pressure. A gentle tap is just enough. Let's explore how this works in the animation. Compared to the previous models, the new devices feature a more powerful processor. In the case of TSG2, it means it's 4 times faster than its predecessor, and when it comes to the TSH2, the difference is almost 3 times faster. The new screen displays more than 16 million colors, which is more than our eyes can distinguish. Previous models could only display 65,000 colors. The keypads feature a micro SD card slot. These cards can contain photos, screen wallpapers, sounds, and most importantly, files with new firmware. Updating is done similarly in previous models. The TSH2 and TSG2 keypads are compatible with the entire family of the Integra and Versa alarm control panels. Just like in all of our Integra-compatible keypads, these two also feature 2 additional zones, provided of course they are connected to an Integra control panel. Both models allow you to conveniently control alarm systems alongside automation functions. Installer can prepare, for example, a sitemap, and using a microSD card, upload it to the devices. Then you can mark the connected devices on the map to make the everyday system control for your clients much easier. Take a look at this example of an already configured scenario, in this case, the leaving home macro. As I mentioned at the beginning, the interface appearance has been completely changed. We have prepared for you more than 20 preset themes, differing in the color of fonts, elements, background, and screen wallpapers. Here are some examples. You can also customize themes, creating a new one for your client. This is done with the DLOADX program. Let's see how customizing actually looks in practice. Another new feature is swipe gestures support. Navigating through different screens is done by tapping and scrolling the screens left and right, or up and down. To make the overall navigation easier for clients, we divided the menu into 3 levels, each containing different functions. The upper level features the screensaver. It can be set to display our default clock or act as a photo frame. On the middle level, we can find the main screen with different icons displayed, responsible for alarming the system. 3 icons to quickly call for help, and in the information icon here, for example, you can enter the contact details, so your client can quickly give you a call when in need. The middle level can consist of up to 24 screens, giving users access to all the system functions. The lower level gestures the control panel setting menu and the service menu. Alright, let's start with the upper level. The screensaver is displayed in 3 cases. When we scroll down the user screen, we can scroll the slideshow to the right, or when 60 seconds pass from the last operation on the screen. Take a look on what can be displayed, based on the system functions. The next element of the upper level is the photo frame. Here you can upload whatever photos your clients ask you to. It can be a single photo or an entire slideshow on a loop. Let me add that thanks to the mentioned display with 16 million colors, the overall quality of the photos is really high. The devices support bitmaps or popular JPEGs. Now let us move on to the most extensive level, the middle one. We can access it in two different ways. What's on the screen? Well, first of all, it features a status bar where you can also add and display a screen title. Second, widgets. And third, system status indicators. Let's take a closer look. The middle level can also contain the scenarios you all well know, that is, sequences of different alarms and automation functions. Let me emphasize here that the new models also support the macro functions when connected to the Versa control panels, something that the previous models did not feature. The macro widgets can arm and disarm the system, clear alarms, block and unblock zones, activate, deactivate and change status of outputs, and shorten the exit delay time. The macro functions can also implement the KNX telegrams, but only when connected with the Integra and Integra Plus control panels. A very useful feature is the link widget. To put it simply, it serves as a shortcut that momentarily sends users to any selected user screen. Thanks to this, users don't have to browse through the entire menu on this level. You can also block access to the screens. To access them, users have to re-enter their authorization password. Let's see how the already configured middle-level menu with multiple user screens can look like. Moving on to the bottom level. We can also access this level in two ways. Now let's see how the control panel settings menu looks on the bottom level and what we can do there. You can also individually set the screen brightness, depending on the current time of day. Notification volume can too be set for different event types. The TSH2 models has a built-in speaker, while the TSG2 features a buzzer. Changing the settings looks like this. Let us take a look at the service menu now. Our next stop is timers, partition timers, and thermostats. You can easily edit the timers from the menu. The keyboard is always displayed on a different random place on the screen. This is a security measure, so no one can figure out user codes from left fingerprints. Both keypad models are compliant with the standards of Grade 3 alarm systems, which impose a number of requirements on producers that their devices must meet. One of said requirements is the double tamper protection, both against unauthorized opening of keypad enclosure and against tearing it off its mounting surface. Both our models feature these mechanisms. Let's take a last look at our touchscreen keypads, available in two colors, black and white. Now we will move on to the next part of our meeting.
Okay, guys, I hope that you enjoyed that video and there was a lot of knowledge about the new keypad. I want to inform you because when we make previous webinars for Polish installers and distribution, they have asked a lot of, is this keypad is the replacement for the old TSG and TSH or maybe for TSI? So at the beginning of this part, I want to inform you that this is the new version of TSH and TSG. So still, you don't have an Ethernet socket inside the keypad, you don't have cameras, intercoms and things like that here. Okay. So if we have the keypad, which is the new version of TSG and TSH, you saw some feature how it looks like. I will show you the keypad one more time to show you the menu of the user and menu of the service mode. More precisely, maybe we can go deeper and deeper. So just give me 1 second. I will change the camera right now. Okay, so we have a TSH keypad. As you saw before, we can configure the screensaver as you want. So you can add here the icons, but you have to remember that it's only an indicator. So you cannot create a macro command on the status screen. Here you have only the icon, which is the indicator. So you can see that, for example, garage gate or driveway is opened or some detectors are violated. If you will go in right side from the screensaver, you can show some pictures on the screen. So you have a wallpaper with some pictures. If you have more than one picture, then you have a photo frame and the photos will change all the time. Okay, so you have decided which screensaver you are using, the standard one which you will create or the screen with the pictures. Okay, if we want to use the keypad, we want to go for the first level of the menu, we can go down or just press anywhere on the screen. Okay, as I told you, there is no macro command, it's an icon, so we can go deeper to the first screen. During the configuration, for a while I will show you at the DLOADX, you can decide which view is the first view, which one is the main view. So if we are going from the screensaver, in our case, always we are turning on the first screen where you can disarm the system. You can make some alarms like panic alarm, fire, medical alarm, or we have an information. So you can just press on the information and you can see some nodes which you as an installer can create there. So for example, the data contact to you as an installer, so the end user will always know where he has to call back in case of some problem with the system. Okay, we have some other, there's I think a lot of possibility how you can create the screen. So for example, you can add the controlling things like lights, roller shutters, heating, sprinkles, etc. I will open the lights, and from the lights we are going to another view. So let's go back. We have 8 user views here, maximum 8 user views here, and we have additional views, additional screens, which you can create up to 16 additional screens. And if, for example, I will press the lights button here, I'm going to additional screen. You can create up to 16 additional screens. And for example, from this screen, I can just easily turn on, turn off some lights, some depends of the things which you have connected to the outputs of Integra, or maybe you will send some KNX telegrams from here. Okay, for example, roller shutters, you can make it in that way, so you can control all roller shutters or all of them separately, depends of your system configuration. Let's go to the heating, for example, something similar like heating and cooling on one tab. Okay. Let's go to the next screen. So for example, you can also create a screen like here. So you have a controlling separate rooms. For example, I will go to the garden, and then you can see the screen of your garden. From here, you can control the lights on your building, some sprinkles in your garden, the lights in garden. Also, you can see the temperature from the ABAX detectors, but you have to remember that only Integra and Integra Plus is working with a temperature sensor. So, okay, about Versa we will talk for a while. And another view, for example, again, you can create some view with your data to the installer company, for example, with some information with the time for the next maintenance, things like that. Okay, so here we have up to 8 screens and up to 16 additional screens. And I want to tell you that with Versa panel, you can make the same thing. So using TSH2 or TSG2, you can create a macro commands also with Versa panel. Limitation of the macro commands, in total you can create 64 macro commands. So I think it's enough to control all of the scenes or all of the scenarios, like exit the home, enter the home, arm the system and control the roller shutter and the lights in the same time. I think 64 macros, it's enough to make some. For sure, it's enough for Versa. With Integra panel, also we can make a lot of quite nice scenarios. Okay, if we will go one deeper, we have a screen where you have to log in. Depends of the code which you will use. I'm going to use the administrator code, so you can see the menu of the user. For sure, you remember how it was, how it looks like in the previous keypad or in the standard keypad. You have just a terminal, and from the view on the terminal, you can access, for example, to the partition state. Here you can see the partition state with the icons. You don't have to use the standard terminals. Come on. Okay, you can change the size of the icons, so you can make it small or bigger. You can make a list with the names of the partition or without it, just with the numbers. Okay, go back. The same we have with the zones, with an outputs. Okay, like here we can see all of the outputs. Also, we can control and outputs from the list here. What else we have here? We have, of course, the troubles. So also maybe it's not quite good visible because of the wallpaper which I have here. For a while we can change the wallpaper too. But here you have a list of all of the trouble in the system, so it's easy to verify what's going on in the system. The same with events. From here you can create the user, which is very easy to create or edit new user. Also, you can see some information like here, so that the user doesn't change the code, so still he's using the code which installer create. You have an access to the tests, so you can check the module version from here. In some places, for example, like module version, we decide to show it on the screen of the standard LCD. So we have, if you want to check the modules version, you have easy view with the keypad name. You have the version, and using arrows, you can check the version of all connected modules. Also from here, you can verify for example, the IP address of the ATHM. You can verify the MAC address. You can verify the email number. So all of these things also available from the keypad. Okay, we have some additional settings. I think a very interesting thing here is the option to set the timers. So you can see all of the timers which are editable in the system. You can access to the timer. You have every day, so you have just one list with all of an option which you can set for the timer, and then you can set from time to time the timer is active and not active. Similar thing with the thermostat, so also easiest way to configure the thermostat. If you have the Integra Plus with thermostat output, you can set the temperature for the each threshold. Okay, we have here also an option for the configure the keypad. So if you open the keypad settings, you can set the option for the screen cleaning. So then touch screen is blocked and you can clean your screen. You can make a firmware update. To make a firmware update on the SD card, it's mandatory to add the firmware on the SD card. After that, you can choose an option to update the firmware from the users menu, or you can just format the SD card completely. So clear all the sounds, all the pictures and things like that. Also, you can change the sounds here. So you can change the sound for the chime, for the touch, using plus and minus, or just pressing somewhere, and then keypad will show you what percentage is it. Okay, and similar thing with the brightness. You can also change the brightness for the day mode and also for the night mode. So in this configuration, you can set that from 6 a.m. the day mode started. So you will use this level of brightness, and from 10 p.m. it will change for the another brightness levels. Okay, now I want to show you the configuration of service mode, because it's very interesting for sure for the administrator, for the installers. So we have there is an icon of the guy, which means that user is logged or not. We can go access to the menu or log out using this option. Now I've logged out, and I will use the service code to get an access to the service mode. The service mode looks similar here because it's the user menu. We are going to the other option. For example, if you want to connect with the computer, we have a downloading, which is just start downloading or finish downloading. You have to press on that and downloading it started. So I think in this configuration of the user menu and service menu, as you can see right now, it's easiest to do something. It's easiest to do something because you can see all of the service menu in the same time. So for example, if you are looking for the output configuration, you have to go to outputs. In the same time, you will see all of these things like details, parameter, test, and the names. Let's go to the details, and you have seen all of the outputs which are in the system. So you can choose one of them, for example, output 22, which is red, name red. You can go to the functions, polarization, pulsing, all of these things is visible immediately. And then using the simple terminal, you can change the type of an output. So in my opinion, the configuration of the system from the service mode, from the keypad, will be much more easier than before. Before, you have to get some experience with the Integra panel to make some configuration from the keypad. Right now, I think even the new installers can make it easier. Okay, I think right now we can go to the configuration of the DLOADX. I will show you. I will show you how to configure the screens at the keypads. Okay, and the service mode here. Yes. Okay. Okay, now you should see my view of my screens. You should see the DLOADX. Okay, so at the DLOADX, at the keypads, at the system structure and hardware, you will find the keypads, and there you will find the new panel, which is TSH2 or TSG2. TSH2 have just two tabs. The keypad, so the standard configuration of the keypad, where you can set which partition will be managed from the keypad, the alarms, from which partitions you will get an alarms, chime configuration, do you want to use the zone or not? So just a standard configuration, and the keypad data. So here you have much more options than the previous keypad. First tab is a tab with the macro commands. As I told you before, you can create up to 64 macro commands. How to do that? Similar way how you are creating the macro commands for the mobile application or for the oldest keypads like TSG and TSH in first generation. So we can set the name, test webinar. Okay, you can set the code for the macro command, and also you can choose the state of an icon. So without the state indicator, so the icon will not change. You have just one type of an icon, and that's all. Or you can set that the state will is follow input or follow output. So the icon will change depends of the, for example, zone status. Let's say that when the zone 1 will be violated, you have an icon like that, like football pitch. If there is its zone is not violated, you have some other icon like telephone. Doesn't matter. The same you can make to follow output. So depends that output is activated or not. You have two different icons. In icons, you have quite big options to choose an icon. We create a lot of them. So also it will be quite nice to create a project for the customer. Okay. Next thing, you have to create the command list. So from the commands, the same like in previous version. So with the commands, we change we do not change anything. So you have arming, disarming, some controlling and outputs, or send the KNX telegrams. Let's, for example, choose the change output state, output number. I'm looking for some B switch. Okay, 23. When you create the command, you can add it. You can add another thing to macro command list. So, for example, this macro test webinar will change the output state of output number 23 and disarm first partition. Okay, when you will create all of the macros, you can write it to the panel using the button right at the bottom of the screen. There you have also the read button to read the configuration from the panel. You can quit configuration. You can reset to factory settings. You can export your configuration to the file, and for example, you can export it to the file, and also you can import that from another keypad, the configuration from another keypad. So also it's quite nice when you're going to make to use more than one keypad in the object, or for example, you will create some project which you are going to let's say install to each of your customer. Okay, we have a tab screen which is completely new for this keypad, because in previous version there was no option to create the screens like here. You have a theme which you can set. So we create 24 themes, and the last one, which is custom, so you can create your own theme. I think everyone will find something for him. So So you can try to do something with that. If you will choose the new theme which we like, you have to select, and then theme is changed. Also, if you will change the theme, now we are using the college, you can you have all of the information which is used, so the background, font, icon, for icon colors, etc. But also you can make your own custom theme. Okay, so then you can change, for example, the color of an icon and of the fonts. Also, you can change the color of a background. Let's say something. Okay, for example, this one. Also, you can change the icon of the fonts which are pressed, or you can add some icons. So you can use your theme without any image or with one of the image which is created by SATEL, or you can use some photo which you create before. Okay, so now we have a theme where we can our favorite picture, for example. Okay, let me choose something prepared by SATEL. Okay, we create the theme. So the next step is a screen saver. So here you have to decide what you want to see on the screensaver. As you saw on the movie before, you can add the text. Okay, so just a name like driveway or garage here. You have a partition state, and so it's just an icon. So as you saw before, here we can add only the icons. So here you cannot add some macro commands, only the icons, only the indicators, date and time, and the rectangle. With the rectangle, you can use the transparency. So you can choose a color of the rectangle, and you can set the transparency for that to make it prettiest, let's say. Also, for the screensaver, you can decide that you want to use the theme, or you can just change something here. You want to change something and customize something. Okay. We have a system status, so it's the first screen which we can create right now. So you can change the name of a screen. I told you before when I show you how to move around the keypad. I told you that you can decide which tab is a home screen. So here we can set that it's a home screen. Webinar will be home screen. So it means that every time after you are going to the middle level of the screens, always you will open this tab. So another screens, you have to move right and left to go there, and you are deciding which one is a home screen. You can set that home screen is available after logging in. So not the home screen, that the screen is available after logging in. So if you will go there on that screen, you want to do something, you have to enter the code first. The same here, you can change everything. So I mean the fonts, the icon colors and things like that. You can, if you are creating some options for the controlling, you can use the grid, so it will be easier to make some icons, like for example partition states will be there, and all of the partition states will be in the first square. For example, you can take the macro. So I decide to choose a macro. Then from the list you have to choose which macro you will assign to that icon. So we can assign the macro test webinar which we created before. With option is authorization is required or disabled if arming without confirm message and hold down. So you have press for 3 seconds on that macro command to turn it on. So options which are similar to the previous version. And Also, as in other screens, you can change the colors for the icons for active and not active. So we are giving you an option to configure almost everything here. So as you can see, the configuration of the screens is similar to configuration the previous TSH and TSG. So everyone who makes the screen on the TSG or TSH in first version for sure will be for him will be easy to configure the new things. Additional very nice option is a link option. Link option, it means that you can create an icon which is linked with the additional screen. I told you that you can create 8 screens and additional 16 screens. So, for example, if you will press on that icon, you can go to another screen, which is, for example, heating, or you can create the new additional screen. Okay, so new additional screen we have here. The configuration additional screens is the same like standard screens. Okay. We have some additional screen here. We can go back to our screen, which we are creating already. This macro I will delete. Okay. Okay. Here we have, and we have to link that icon with the additional screen, and that's all. If you will open the screen webinar, which is our home screen, you can press on that icon, and it will open the additional screen which we created before. But you have to remember that if you are creating the additional screens like we have here, so controlling the lamps, controlling the watering in the system, some garage gate, the heating options, cooling options, and things like that, you have to remember that to the additional screen you can open only using the button which is link. So there is no option, like if you will forget to create the button to go to the additional screen, there is no option to open it. So only one way to open the additional screen is using the button here, which is link. Okay, after you will finish to do all of these things, the configuration of the screens, you have to press on the right button. You will store it to your keypad, and that's all. So you don't have to use the SD card to change that to save it to the keypad. You can send it via keypad bus, so like in the previous version. But also here we have the option to open the micro SD cards to see what you have on the SD card. So if you will take the SD card, you will install it to your computer. You can add the images which you will use as a backgrounds at the screens and also at the additional screens. Also here you can add the pictures which you will use for the slideshow on the save screen. And also here you have an option to the sound, which is available only at the TSH. TSG doesn't have an option with the sound, so only TSH has the sounds option, and it's very nice thing because you can change the chime sounds for the depends of the zone. So, for example, we have zone number 1 where I assign the sound. Like I don't know, you can hear it or not. I will try to play it. Okay, it says "Welcome home" in Polish. For the second sound, we have something like that. And some another sound. So you can add a lot of different sounds here, which you can assign to the different zones. And thanks to that, you can, thanks to that, you can hear which zone is violated. So for example, you can create the sound like garage is open, entry door is open, welcome home, and an alarm. So for example, if every time you, for example, you will violate the flood detector, you can make an alarm, but also you can start chime with some message like alarm from flood detector. Okay, but you have to remember that it's a chime, so it's not a sound for the alarm, it's a sound for the chime, but using some different combination of integra, you can use it in a lot of different things. Okay, shortly I will show you here also the TSG2. So the difference between them are the size, of course. One has 7 inches, the second one has 4.3 inch. The TSG doesn't has a sounds for chime. The rest of options are similar here. So also we have option to make some macro commands here, some additional screens and things like that. So still TSG is quite nice option for the places where you don't have enough place to install 7-inch keypad. Okay. Okay, guys, so I see that Krzysztof answered for a lot of your questions, but he answered for all of the questions which you asked. So very nice. I hope that this webinar was interesting for you. Maybe a short question to Krzysztof. Krzysztof, do we have some question which I have to answer in public, or everything is solved already? Okay, I think everything is solved. So thank you very much for your time. I hope that the webinar was interesting for you, and you will try to play with the new TSG and TSH. See you at our next webinar. Visit our YouTube channel. Also there we are going to show more information about the new keypads and new products. One more time, thank you for your time and have a nice day. Bye-bye.